afternoon, family. How are you? I'm Ernest with your Spiritual Vitamin for the day. Today's divine download is making room for more. And I'm going to use the text in Luke, the 6th chapter, the 38th verse, that says, "Give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again." May God add a blessing to that. Protocol has already been established because this is like the 37th spiritual vitamin. God bless everybody. Let's keep it 100. Can we really keep it 100 about 2020 and what 2020 has been so far? It's been crazy. It's been mind-blowingly unprecedented, the things that we've experienced in 2020. I don't know about you, but at the end of 2019, I don't remember signing up for any of this. Or did we? So many of us started 2020 with all these ideals and all these thoughts of what we were going to do, what we were going to accomplish. We had goals in mind. We had things that we were going to get done. And then 2020 began to unfold, begin to reveal itself to us. And it all has been earth-shattering. It's felt like very stressful, very intense. It's things that we've never seen God do before. And we're like, what are you doing? God, help us make some sense of what's going on. And it is very tough as we've continued to press and we feel like we've given so much to try to keep ourselves afloat in this year. And we're wondering, God, is it going to be worth it all in the end? Can you please help me see why you're doing what you're doing? Well, today's transmission is making room for more, because despite everything that's going on, despite all of the chaos, all the confusion, all of the doubt that might be in your mind, God is simply just making room for more. When we think about all the things that we asked for and we were looking for out of this year, we had to know that those things were going to come with some process. Now, typically, if you want a degree, if that's your goal, that you're going to have to do some work, you're going to do some homework, you're going to do some studying, you're going to take some exams, you know that. But every once in a while, God isn't going to make you do work in the area that you're looking to, achieve something in. He's going to make you do the work in your heart. He's going to make you do the work in your mind. God has been putting us on this path, on this process of purging out everything that's not like him in order to fill us up with what he needs us to be moving forward to achieve not only our goals, but his goals. I thank God for this particular text because it talks about receiving something in good measure. Typically, when something is said to be coming back to you in good measure, it means that you're going to get more than you actually even expected to get. You're going to get more than you originally bargained for. So I'm glad that if I continue to give unto God the way we've been giving, that he's going to give me more. Now, what do I mean by what we've been given? People tend to think about money all the time when they hear the word give, but we've also been very giving of our time. We've been giving of our faith. We've been praying a lot. We've been giving everything that we had. This year has been so tough. It's been so different. It's been so unprecedented that we've been given more than we've ever given before. We have been given more of our prayer time, more of our focus, more of our faith. It's required more from us, like day after day, week after week. Something new keeps on happening and keeps requiring more from us. So we've been given a lot from God, but the word says that if you give unto him, he will give you back good measure, pressed down and shaken together. Now, that particular phrase has also always been interesting to me as I've grown up in church, and you hear it over and over again. It's in songs: pressed down, shaken together, running over, back in good measure. I had to do some study on it. I had to understand what that particular phrase meant. So for something to come to you pressed down, shaken together, you have to understand how that works. In the Eastern market back in those days, back in the time when that particular text was written, they had a theory of wanting to give you more than you expected to get in order to have return business. They wanted you to come back, so they always gave you more than what you were bargaining for. For example, if you went to get some grain and you took a sack of grain, your thought was, I'm going to pay the price for whatever this sack can carry. However much grain this sack can carry is what I'm willing to pay for. But the merchant, in their effort to give you more than what you bargained for, they would take your sack, they would shake it. When you shake a bag of grains, it creates holes in the grains. It creates holes in that particular bag, and then they press it down to fill those holes with the grain, thus making room in your bag for more. So therefore, Although we've been under a lot of pressure, we've been feeling shaken up, it's simply just God making room for more. We've been feeling like we're under a lot of pressure. We've been shaken up quite a bit, but don't be discouraged by that, because God is simply making room for more. In that same marketplace, if you went to go get a cup of flour, because the text, if you read it, is kind of confusing, because on one end it says you'll receive it in good measure, and then at the end it says in the same measure. How that works is that you can show up with your cup of flour, with a cup ready to receive a certain amount of flour. You know that your cup can only hold but so much based on how you usually pack it. But the merchants know how to pack it in a way where you get more in that cup than you can normally. And what they do is that you come in there with your cup, you'll fill it. They'll say, well, no, we can do more with that. So then they will shake it up and they will press it down. They will put more flour in it, and then they will shake it up again and press it down. Now, granted, this year has been nuts. It has been confusing. It feels like we've been shaken up all year long. It feels like we've been pressed all year long, but it's only God making room for you to receive more. Don't be discouraged by the stress of it. Don't be discouraged by the pressure that you feel. Don't be discouraged by the doubts that you felt, because everything that we're going through, everything we're experiencing, the unprecedented moments, is just God pressing and shaking us to be able to receive more. I thank God that He's making room for me to receive more. This situation has been different for us. We have been pressed to our capacity, but God is looking at us where we feel overwhelmed, we feel weighted down, and saying, nope, I think I can get more in there. I think I can fill you up with more. Don't be discouraged by anything that's happening in this season, in this 2020, this bananas, topsy-turvy, absolutely unprecedented time that we're living in, because God is simply making room for more. He's not worried about whether or not we feel uncomfortable. I know you can feel the shaking. It feels unstable. It feels uncomfortable. You want to know, God, when am I going to get back to normal? When am I going to be able to get back to my regular life? And God is simply saying, no, you're not getting back to that. We're not going back to where you left from, because I'm expanding your ability to do more. I'm expanding your ability to receive more. He's shaking us up in order to create those holes, those voids that you had in 2019, those holes that you had from past experiences, from past hurts, from past situations that left you feeling a little empty. God is shaking you up to be able to press you down in order to fill that particular situation up, because God is ready to make room for more. We're going into a next level, a next dispensation. In order to do that, we have to be pressed a little bit. In order to do that, we have to be shaken a little bit. So although we feel uncomfortable, although we don't like it, although we're confused, although we don't know exactly what it is that He's doing, stand still and let yourself be shaken. Let yourself be pressed down, because it's coming back to you in good measure. You've given a lot in tears. You've given a lot in faith. You've given a lot in prayer. You've given a lot in support. You've been supporting your brothers and your sisters, helping people as they've lost one loved one after the other, as they're going through ups and downs and financial difficulties. You've given all that you feel like you are able to give, but God's saying there is room for more. He's making room for more. He's willing to fill you up. God's not done filling us up in this year. We're not going to go back to normal, because God is pushing us towards more. We're not going to go back to normal, because God is expecting more from us, because He's pressing us and He's shaking us in order to fill our cups a little bit more, to be able to fill our sacks a little bit more. God is expecting you to bring forth the thing that He's pouring into you right now, so the next generation can be healed, so they can be delivered, so their souls can be saved. I know it's uncomfortable. I know that you're over it. You're ready to get back to your normal life, but you're not going back to that. You're going back to better. God bless you. Enjoy this process where God uses you and He makes room for you to receive more, do more, and be more. God bless y'all.